And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I didn't think that I was going to be doing the What If Naruto Was Like Shisui Part 2 because I had honestly forgotten about it. And it's been a full week since I've done it, so I figured, hey, I might as well drop another part. So as a thank you to me for finally remembering and actually continuing the series, y'all lucky by the way, because I know this video is about to get low views. Do your boy a favor and like the video up so it motivates me to keep going. Because trust me, if I don't get motivated, I'm gonna straight just be like, I'm gonna straight just kick this series to the curve and start a new one, right? But anyways though, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna hook it up for me, so I'll hook it up for y'all. Anyways though, enjoy this part. It's a banger. Y'all are gonna love it. Stick around to the end because seriously, it's fire.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
Immediately after this, Kakashi would look back up as he would see a tall man standing above a sword. This man would be Zabuza Momochi, and he would immediately cast his sword towards the direction of Kakashi, as he would then tell him that he either hands over the bridge builder or dies now, that he wouldn't mind taking out Kakashi Hatake, that he is worth quite a good bundle in the bingo book. And Kakashi would look at him and say that there's no doing that. And so they end up having a little bit of a one-on-one. Kakashi wants to show off to his team and be like, hey, you know, like I'm strong, you know, but pretty much what would end up happening is exactly what would happen in canon. Kakashi would get trapped in the water prison jutsu, and so Naruto and Sasuke are the ones who ultimately have to save him. Naruto looking towards the direction of Sasuke, they both nod and simultaneously, just like in the original, would both have a plan which would easily work against Zabuza. After they used the Shuriken Jutsu idea, Naruto would land on top of the water after having thrown a kunai at Zabuza and thrown, Zabuza completely off guard. This would lead Kakashi to escape the water prison jutsu and pretty much just go all out when it comes to his abilities. He then proceeds to body Zabuza, and eventually Haku ends up arriving on the battlefield, taking Zabuza out of the way and making sure that Zabuza can live to see another day, another battle. Following this, we end up having all of the events which would happen in canon, including the meeting of Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter, and Inari, Tazuna's grandson. However, one thing that is going to be changing in this timeline is pretty much going to be that Naruto never meets Haku. Now, I just don't want to do this because I don't want to do Shisui Naruto dirty, and I don't think that he would be out in the woods trying to train as hard as he would have been in the original, considering that, yeah, he wants to be like Shisui, but there's no real reason for him to. He is very strong, so he trains more than he has to, doesn't overdo it like in the original, and so would actually make it home to pass out on a normal comfy bed. Eventually though, the very next day they would all end up learning tree walking and tree walking, and eventually what would pretty much end up going down is that about 1 week later, they would make their way towards the bridge. Now, just like in the original, Naruto would not be there for the beginning stages of the battle due to the fact that he would oversleep. Now, why does Naruto oversleep? Because Sasuke doesn't wake Naruto up like he was supposed to. Every day they switched who's going to be the one to wake up and to wake everybody else up, and Sasuke was just feeling like a little bit of a prick today. However, we're gonna skip that, and we're just gonna pay attention to the positives of that. And the positives is that Inari and Tsunami wouldn't get kidnapped or die. That's a good thing, right? But a bad thing would be that Naruto's not present during the fight. And let me tell you guys right now, that is a very bad thing, because Naruto this time around would end up arriving to a scene that I don't think a lot of people are gonna like. Naruto would end up seeing Sasuke in the middle of the ice prison jutsu, and Sasuke as of this moment would be getting hit with senbons left and right. Even though he just unlocked the Sharingan ability and would slightly be able to keep up with it, Naruto ending up arriving would end up trying to use a couple of jutsus to destroy the mirrors from the outside, but would realize that he literally has no jutsu powerful enough to destroy this. And it would be at this moment that Naruto would realize that this whole time he's been focusing on speed and like quick base attacks that could take out his opponents quickly, and he hasn't been focusing on the powerhouse attacks, things that can destroy jutsus like this. So Naruto would definitely take a mental note of the fact that he needs destructive jutsus, and eventually he would make his way inside of the crystal mirrors to try to back up Sasuke, telling him that he's here with him. Sasuke would call him a dope for this, and eventually after this, Haku would throw Senbon after Senbon after Senbon. Naruto's speed along with Sasuke's Sharingan eventually wouldn't be enough to keep up, and eventually Naruto would be about to die. However, Sasuke pushes him out of the way and would take the brunt force of each and every single one of the Senbons, and would then look towards the direction of Naruto as on the ground. Like, in the original, Sasuke was like, please kill my brother for me, but he wasn't sure if he was gonna die. This time, Sasuke's positive. This thing is inside a vital organ, and there is no coming back from this. Sasuke falls to the ground, Naruto holds him, and Haku would simply be watching from an ice crystal mirror. The rage would boil up in Naruto internally, but not that much because obviously he doesn't know Sasuke like that yet. However, you know, he does kind of think that Sasuke is his comrade, and he doesn't want his comrades to die, right? So ultimately this does lead to Naruto getting a rage boost. Not yet the Nine Tails, obviously it's just bubbling right now. But then Sasuke with his last words would say, kill Itachi. Kill Itachi Uchiha. He killed my clan. And like Naruto would be like, you can't do this to me, Sasuke. Get up, damn it. You're gonna kill him. Get up. Come on, I already have to fulfill Shisui's legacy. And Sasuke would like not be moving. And Naruto would then shake him and Sasuke would say, take my Sharingan. And he just dies. Following this, Naruto's eyes would just turn red, slit-like, and the Kurama mode would finally end up coming into play. Naruto, after having this rage boost activated, would end up blitzing at Haku, shattering the ice mirror, and then proceeding to punch Haku's face in, caving it in as if it was a little piece of plastic or something. Simultaneously, Kakashi would take out the rest of Gato's men, and after this would happen, Naruto would let out a massive roar, before he was then going on to actually go on to try to attack Sakura. However, when he hears Sakura's voice, and she hears her crying, Sasuke, and she says, Naruto, stop. Naruto would be able to hold himself back just in time so that he doesn't hurt Sakura. Following this, she runs over to the body of Sasuke and would scream and cry and just do everything that she did in the original. However, this time it's real. She tells Naruto he really is a demon, and following this, Gato and his men would end up arriving. Naruto still has the power of Kurama flowing through him, and in this moment, Naruto decides he needs to let loose. So he would blitz towards the direction of the bridge builders and stuff, and bro just proceeds to massacre them. I know that in the original, Naruto doesn't even end up getting kills that often. Maybe he gets like 2 or 3, but this time, he ends up catching bodies on bodies. And Naruto takes them out and leaves Gato at the very end. As Gato would say, please, I'll give you anything you want. Money, fame, riches, anything, you name it. And Naruto would say, I want Sasuke back. As he kills Gato, and ultimately, Gato would have no say in anything else, as Gato's reign of terror would finally have been over. And with this accomplishment finally out of the way, they can rest assured that they'll make their way back to the Leaf Village and be handsomely rewarded. One thing that they wouldn't be expecting, however, would be that once they end up arriving back in the village, Hiruzen, once he ends up getting word that Sasuke's died on the mission, would just have like his stomach would drop. Like he would feel like everything around him just like ended. And Hiruzen would just say like that, like we're effed, like we're seriously so effed. Itachi was counting on me to keep him safe, and now he's dead. And like I can't do anything. He would be like, don't say that Sasuke's dead. Like he would tell Kakashi not to say anything about Sasuke's death or anything like that. And, you know, he would say that they'll try to keep it a secret for as long as they can, but he doubts that they will be able to, considering the Chunin exams. And they would all look at his direction and be like, what do you mean? What's the Chunin exams? Suddenly, he ends up explaining what that is and what it entails. And they both, Sakura and Naruto, simultaneously would say they want to take it. Kakashi would say that two people don't usually pass this, but Naruto would say that they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for Sasuke. This is what Sasuke would have wanted, and they want to make sure that at the very minimum, they can do something that he would have wanted. Naruto would have a like a somber look on his face, and Sakura would just be looking down in disappointment, tears coming out of her face, as Kakashi would sigh and say, "Okay, I'll let you guys go into the Chunin exams, but promise me you'll be safe." And they would both nod, saying that they will be. As what would pretty much end up happening following this is that we would end up having a moment in which, like the room is just silent, but ultimately they make their way towards their own individual homes and stuff. They don't walk through the city. And so this time around, when Konohamaru gets picked up by Kankuro and he's like, "You got a death wish?" Kankuro just pleads for his life, and Kankuro, let's just say he's feeling nice. And luckily he does this because he doesn't start a war between the Sand and Leaf Village quite yet. However, what pretty much ends up happening is that Kankuro would continue going on with his team. Naruto's home, he's sleeping it off, and eventually the next day that he would wake up for a following entire week, Naruto would train as hard as he possibly can alongside Kakashi with his new Sharingan that he would have taken from Sasuke. Kakashi being absolutely shocked at the fact that Naruto could even handle the chakra levels of strain that this is putting on his body, saying that Naruto truly is one of a kind, that his chakra pool is so much more massive than Kakashi's ever can be. And Naruto would say that while he might not be an Uchiha and can't use these eyes quite like Sasuke, he promises someday he's gonna avenge Sasuke and his family, and he's going to make sure that he kills Itachi. He would ask Kakashi if he knows who that is, and Kakashi would sit down with Naruto, telling him about the days in the Anbu, how he knows exactly who Itachi is and how scary Itachi really is, saying that he became an Anbu captain at the age of, I don't know, but very young. And ultimately Naruto would finally, after all this time of training and being with Kakashi, would find himself right next to Sakura. They would have a bit of a strange relationship at this point, considering that she blames Sasuke's death on Naruto, and Naruto doesn't feel comfortable with talking to Sakura. But ultimately, upon seeing that it was team 7, Lee would notice that they were going towards a room with a genjutsu, which obviously, they were going past. But Lee would end up challenging Sasuke to a fight, and he would end up asking where he is. Naruto saying that he's not with them right now, and Lee ultimately saying that, "Fight him then." And Naruto would say, "I don't want to," in like the most somber, like sad tone ever. Rock Lee isn't dumb, he is, but he can at least read the room, right? And he realizes Naruto just does not look happy, so he just moves aside and his smile would just fade. He looks at Sakura, tries to say something, but she has this look in her eye that screams, "Leave me alone." So Lee leaves them alone, and we just kind of get like a very, very somber tone. They eventually make their way towards the Chunin exams, and Naruto, stronger than ever, would be wanting to avenge Sasuke's death, prove that, Sasuke's sacrifice wasn't for nothing. Eventually, what would pretty much end up happening is once they end up seeing the Rookie 12, and they're like, "Hey, where's Sasuke?" They kind of just stay silent. And, they're not dumb. Shikamaru pieces it together immediately, and Ino would begin to burst into tears. Eventually, however, a Ibiki would enter the room and would tell them about the written portion of the exam. Following this, Anko would end up arriving, and she would then end up giving them their scrolls and telling them about the Forest of Death exam. Nobody wants to hear the written portion, so I'm gonna skip it. And when it comes to the introduction of Anko, I'm gonna skip that too. Anyways though, following this, we pretty much are going to be jumping to the only relevant piece of information that happens during this portion of the Chunin exams, and that is Orochimaru's attack, him wanting to take out Sasuke. Seeing as it isn't public knowledge to anybody but the Rookie 12 of the fact that Sasuke's dead, Orochimaru still believes that he could obtain a young Uchiha body at this point, and so Orochimaru attacks Team 7. However, upon realizing that the only person on Team 7 that looks like Sasuke is this kid, Naruto would have taken Sasuke's jacket, his Uchiha jacket, and worn it himself, just to be like, "Hey, you're missed," you know what I mean, you lived through me. And since he has jet black hair because he dyed it, and now he actually has Sharingan and his eyes are just always constant Sharingans, Orochimaru looks at the direction of Naruto and would say, "Another Uchiha?" As suddenly, he arrives in front of them, lets out a bunch of bloodlust, and Naruto's like, I don't have time for these games, as he stabs himself in the leg to get over the fear that he's feeling, and then would rush in at Orochimaru. Orochimaru realizing that Naruto is fast, but not fast enough. Ultimately, Orochimaru would be able to outspeed Naruto, landing a bunch of blows on Naruto, and then asking him what his name is, if he's Sasuke. And Naruto would say his name is Naruto Uzumaki, and that Sasuke's dead. And after hearing this, Orochimaru would have one of these anime moments where they're like, oh, you know what I mean? and what would pretty much end up happening is he would be like, so you're a fake, just like Kakashi, eh? Well, let me show you. Let me show you the fate of anybody who uses an Uchiha eye without being a true Uchiha, the fate of fakers, as he then blitzes at Naruto and begins to absolutely beat the living life out of Naruto. Naruto gets bodied in a way that he never thought he was going to be done before. But eventually, after Orochimaru would do this, Naruto gets angrier and angrier at the fact that he's calling him a fake. And Naruto, upon having this happen, would have this moment of like internal crisis where he's like, I can't live up to Sasuke, I can't live up to Shisui, I can't live up to my own standards, I'm literally worthless. Rage will take over, boil to the surface, Kurama's power will begin coming out, but Orochimaru would be like, nah. And he just seals that power by using the 5-pronged seal on Naruto. Naruto would easily get knocked out by this, and then Orochimaru would turn to Sakura as he would say, farewell. Tell that fake Uchiha to stop pretending. As from here, he ends up leaving the situation, and what would pretty much end up happening is that the Sound Squad still hasn't received information that Sasuke isn't alive, and they're assuming that he's probably going to be in this exam, so they end up eventually attacking Team 7 just like in the original, and Sakura tries to fight them, and Rock Lee arrives and saves her and stuff, and once Rock Lee gets bodied, Naruto wakes up, Kurama power active, because like just the rage that he's feeling of everything would be able to like bypass the thing that Orochimaru did on his seal, because plot armor, and then Naruto would go over and absolutely body he does, because the Kurama thing will be necessary for him healing his injuries, and it would help him out considering Kurama, Sharingan, Naruto's body flicker, he just literally blitzes them and absolutely ends up destroying the Sound Squad. It's sad. And after this happens, he grabs their scroll, makes his way towards the Genin Tower, and eventually the preliminary rounds would happen. His first opponent being Kiba Inuzuka or whatever. Kiba whatever, right? And what would pretty much end up happening during this battle is that Naruto, with both Sharingan active, would end up like pretty much taking off the blindfold. Or not a blind. Yeah, blind. No, he just kind of like looks at Kiba, and Kiba would be like, what is up with those fake Sharingan, eh? Using a genjutsu to trick me? And Kiba uses his Fang over Fang technique. However, Naruto using his Sharingan reads Kiba like a book, and before he can even get into the Fang over Fang stance, Naruto would look at him before he then comes in and straight uppercuts Kiba, knocking him flat out. Akamaru would begin barking at Naruto, trying to be like, arr, arr, arr. But Naruto doesn't care. Naruto just kicks Akamaru, walks off the stage, and he would be announced the winner. Following this, we would have 1 month worth of training in which Naruto would end up meeting Jiraiya, and this would actually be a moment of happiness for Naruto, considering the fact that Jiraiya meeting Naruto here would be a good thing. I mean, Naruto needs somebody positive in his life to give him like structure and closure, and when Naruto meets Jiraiya and Jiraiya's like, I'm the legendary Sannin, Naruto immediately asks him, he's like, can you teach me destructive jutsus? And Jiraiya shows off the Rasengan. This time, Naruto learns the Rasengan during the 1 month of training, learns the summoning jutsu just like he would in the original, and would even be able to learn how to use a slight portion of his Kurama tail chakra without losing absolute control. Being able to control like the fart sniff version of it, like just like the bubbles, that's it. Not a tail, because that's just ludicrous, but just the bubbles, right? And because of that, Naruto would be well prepared to face off against Neji. in this battle, I don't think that Neji would be able to beat Naruto because of the fact that he has the Sharingan. It would help him, it would give him an unfair advantage, and Naruto's speed can help him keep up with Neji's combat speed, which is insane, obviously, because he is a Hyuga clan member and they're known for having the hands. However, Naruto does still end up bodying Neji Hyuga, and eventually after this we have the battle between Sasuke and Gaara, which would go down just like it would in the original, right? Gaara ends up pretty much freaking out. He busts through the forest. Naruto ends up watching as all this goes down. He chases Sasuke. He, ends up running into Temari. Some other ninja comes in and stops the fight. Let's say Shikamaru comes in and fights her. Kankuro stops Naruto, but then Shino comes in and fights him, and Naruto would end up arriving in the nick of time. Oh wait, Sasuke's dead. Oh. Let's say that Naruto's the one that ends up pretty much hitting Gaara with the thing. Let's switch it up. Naruto, let's say that Temari just resigns. So the final battle would be Naruto versus Gaara. He hits him with a Rasengan. He runs away. Naruto's chasing after him. The two Saiyan siblings try to stop him, but they can't because Naruto's him. And ultimately, now we're back into the normal position in canon. This time around, Sasuke doesn't try to fight Gaara since he's dead, and Naruto would be the one who single-handedly takes him out immediately, popping out the summoning jutsu and wanting to use the Rasengan on Gaara for the very first time. Because of this, Naruto would end up fighting on the defensive for most of it until eventually he would get his final opening, and he would take this and thread the needle, making his way towards Gaara, slamming a Rasengan straight into him and leading Gaara to be like, how? You know what I mean? Leading Naruto's talk no jutsu moment, and ultimately simultaneously, Orochimaru would finally be concluding and putting the nail in the coffin on Hiruzen, who would die due to the fact that Orochimaru uses the jutsu that he does in the original. What would pretty much end up happening is that after this, we end up having the cleanup moment that would happen just like it would in the original, and Naruto and Jiraiya would go off in search of Tsunade, the next Hokage. However, as this is happening, remember, Itachi would have ended up returning to the village, right? And when Itachi realizes, hey, where's Sasuke? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him. He ends up looking for Hiruzen. He's like, oh wait, he's dead. And then he hits up the only person who he knows could probably help him out. He ends up appearing in Danzo's office, breaking in and killing a ton of Anbu members with Kisame, as he would end up asking Danzo, where's Sasuke?